Next up, you'll hear from another customer of ours, Alcon Laboratories. Travis Schmidt, head of North America Transportation at Alcon, is joined by David Deutsch, manager of solutions engineering here at Project 44, to talk about Alcon's path to visibility.
I'd really like to thank Travis Schmidt for joining us from Alcon. Travis is the head of North American Transportation at Alcon Labs. I thought it would be good to start off with just a brief background about some of the challenges that Alcon was facing that drove your organization to seek out and ultimately to implement a real-time visibility solution.
Yeah, thanks, David, and thanks for having me. The key driver for us in starting a relationship, a partnership with P44, Project 44, was just when you think about the sheer number of carriers that we have globally and how fragmented that gets when you're trying to track shipments. Here in North America specifically, we have customers that they could get shipments from several different carriers depending upon the mode, whether it's a small parcel LTL, an inbound ocean container, truckload. When we're trying to really determine and calculate the arrival date and all the details around that shipment, it's very difficult to go through all the different carriers' websites to get that tracking information. So the partnership with P44 has really brought all that together, and as you pointed out, is a single source that we could go to capture all that information in one spot, as opposed to having to go to several different tracking websites, mechanisms to get that information.
Great, that's really helpful. Thanks, Travis, and certainly in line with how I think a lot of our customers, especially in the last couple of years, are approaching real-time visibility. So appreciate that background. I think from here, maybe if we can dive into a little bit more detail about the specific teams that are leveraging Project 44 solutions and the VOC, that would be helpful. I know there's a couple of different use cases that Alcon is focused on. There's applications for customer service teams, transportation teams. So I thought maybe if we could dive into both of those a little bit and focus kind of on the before and after picture with what those teams were doing before Project 44 solution was implemented, what they're doing after, and why it's really important and what some of the value drivers are as those teams access the application as part of their day-to-day. So maybe we could start with customer service and just do a quick, high level of the changes in workflow with Project 44 now available.
Sure. Yeah. So as I mentioned, just the fragmentation across customers, even just looking at the U.S., there's a number of different LTL carriers, small parcel, truckload, and even courier services that we use. And our customers, some of them are very picky about the carriers that they want. They want carrier A to move their express small parcel, carrier B to move their ground small parcel, and carrier C to move their LTL shipments. So whenever that customer is calling in, and one particular order could have cartons or packages that span across several of those modes. So when we have that customer on the phone and they're asking where's our shipment at? Has there been a delay, or can you give me any tracking information on it? Just having them on the phone, having to wait while our customer service team is going through multiple systems from our ERP system to our to our warehouse WMS, and then out to the carriers' websites just to gather that information. So again, pulling that all back into one single source with the with the reference fields that we've been able to set up through the partnership with P44. It's as simple now as going to the P44 VOC, typing in one of many different reference numbers, and all the shipments that are tied to that order number, to that PO, will pull up in one screen, and it's cut what was a 5-10 minute conversation with our customer down to just a mere seconds or just a couple minutes to get them the information that they're looking for.
That's great. And I imagine that's both a better experience, both for your internal team members and for your customers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Freeing up that customer service representative to take that next call where they were on hold potentially for that 10 minutes that we were talking to that first customer, to where now it's a quick 30-second conversation. And we're answering that next phone call to get to the next inquiry, and in turn has saved a ton of time in our customer service team, and really improve their metrics as far as their call wait times.
Cool. So I think that helps us to understand a lot of the value in the applications for those customer service team. Of course, another common team that tends to interact with our application is, of course, going to be transportation and your transportation team members. So I'm just wondering if there's kind of any differences, and I'm sure there are, between how customer service is approaching the solution and the data that's available versus some of the transportation team members, and maybe some of the process changes that they're trying to implement by now having access to all of this data in one place?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of the things that we're doing on my team is very similar to this customer service team. Oftentimes, what they'll do is escalate when there's situations that we have delayed shipments or things like that to our team. So we're doing a lot of the same things that our customer service team's doing, but at the same time, there's a couple other key features that our team is doing as far as pulling the PODs from the P44 site. So that's been really beneficial on our side in terms of the customer chargebacks and the fines. Really reducing the time, again, instead of going out to each individual carrier and trying to find those PODs, being able to access that through P44 to push back on some of those chargebacks that we get.
And in terms of regions where you guys are doing this, I know the goal of the final implementation is to launch a global solution. So I'm just wondering, from a regional perspective, where is the transportation team most focused? And I guess why is it important to you guys to find a solution and implement a solution that can provide some of that global level coverage?
Yeah, so after seeing a lot of the benefits that we have here in the U.S. and hopefully as we continue to expand globally, the benefits that we've seen here in the U.S. we will be able to realize those same benefits, across the globe. Even right now with the international freight movement tracking that we're doing with P44, it's already proven to be a huge benefit. We have a lot of our planners that are overseas in countries across the world that now they have the visibility to the inbound shipments that they're expecting, from wherever they're coming from. So it's a big key when we're looking at restocking our warehouses or providing that valuable information to our customer on when we're going to have the products available for them. So it's already proven to be a huge benefit globally, not just here in the U.S.
One other question just about general usage, and this is a tough one, so fine if you don't have an answer off the bat, but I'm just wondering if there's maybe any benefits that you guys have so far realized out of the platform that maybe you weren't anticipating, that you weren't when you first went into the project.
Yeah, I don't think that we really understood how much of a time saver it was going to be. Even we keep harping on just having it all in one single source. I don't think that we as a team realized how much benefit that was going to really provide. And from a time saving perspective, particularly on our team here, the transportation team, as well as the customer service team that's using it, just the sheer amount of time that it's cut down on our day-to-day tracking of orders has been a huge success.
That's great. I just wanted to thank you guys for being a customer. It's been a really great partnership so far. We've really enjoyed working with yourself and the rest of the Alcon team, and we're very excited to continue our partnership and hopefully to bring a lot more useful features and functions to not only the current teams within Alcon that are using our application, but the rest of the globe across Alcon and some additional user bases as well. So really excited about that, and wanted to thank you again for your time.
Absolutely, David. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to continuing this partnership we've started.
Thank you, Travis. It's great to hear how Alcon is using Project 44.